Good evening, Hawks fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Atlanta Sports District. I'm your host, Russell Spence, and this is episode 11, coming to you directly after a huge Hawks victory, another NBA Cup victory, this time over the Orlando Magic, 127 to 112. I'm coming to you not feeling very good. I am sick. And so hopefully my voice can make it through this. But all that to be said, let's get into it. We're the same starters as we have been having since Trey's absence. So Nah comes in for Trey and everything else has stayed the same. Nah, Dyson, Zach, Jalen, and KP. We started the game off with a very interesting set of circumstances where Zachary Bichase was very active off ball early. First possession, he comes around, gets the ball off a double screen, shoots a three, and he makes it. Then he gets two more and one opportunities right after and makes them both, makes the free throws. He has our first 9 points. Throughout the entire first quarter, the defense looked amazing. We went to the huge lineup that has Mo, Jalen, and Onyeka very early in the game, and that lineup kind of set the tone of what the defense was going to look like for the entire night. We put, after that lineup kind of established what was going on and we had a pretty decent lead, we put the Veet and Kennard lineup on the floor, and I still really don't like that lineup. Tonight it didn't kill us, but it did hurt us a good bit. And I wrote, I hate this Veet and Kennard lineup. After they pulled Veet again, they put Zach back on the floor. I just wrote the defense has been so good. And right after I was typing that, they hit a shot clock violation where they could not get a shot off because of how good our defensive execution, communications, and rotations were. We ended the first quarter up 32 to 23. A 9-point lead in the first quarter is a very large margin to win a quarter by, and also to hold an opponent at 23 points in the first quarter is awesome. That's a great way to start your basketball game. In the second quarter, Keaton came in to start the quarter. I'm going to keep repeating, I don't think that Keaton is wonderful to play right now, especially if you're going to play Veet and then you're going to play 10 men, and it's kind of clunky. I don't like it, and I think that I would rather see us lean into the defense heavily with some bigger lineups. That's what I would be going for. So we had a Keaton, Kennard, Dyson, Zach, and KP lineup. They came in not too far after that. That has Zach at the 4, KP at the 5, and Keaton and Kennard on the floor at the same time. That lineup's very bad defensively. We had a long extended period of time in this quarter without Jalen. He didn't play for the last 2 minutes of the second quarter and for the first 6 minutes of the last 2 minutes of the first quarter and for the first 6 minutes of the second quarter. That's an 8-minute time span where Jalen Johnson's on the floor. You have to have that player on the floor. He's your best player. Play him as much as possible. Shouldn't be off the floor for more than 5 minutes at a time. Right after that, we did go to that huge lineup that I was talking about that has Zach, Jalen, Mo, and Onyeka all on the floor all at the same time. And quite honestly, it struggled to move the ball. It was a very short sample size again. I would like to see it when they get a little more comfortable. I want to see it get more minutes. And they were playing it with Keaton, which I don't like because he's not really great at moving the ball. I would like to see a very good ball mover like maybe Kennard and those 4 guys and see what it looks like. We also started to struggle to get rebounds, which is weird with that big of a lineup, but I think it was a lot of just they were shooting long shots, long rebound comes off, lands right in a guy's hands on their team. That happens. Orlando made a small comeback during this time when we weren't scoring as much points and they were getting these second chance points. But honestly, the defense still looked really good. It was just that we were unable to finish a defensive possession because we were forcing such hard looks. The ball was coming off hard. They're getting a rebound. right about when we put our closing lineup back in, Dyson is playing defense on Desmond Bain. He makes one of the best plays I've ever seen defensively. He pulls the chair on a drive where Bain's trying to get a foul. He's going at him, trying to get him to foul him. And he just backs up and tips the ball out, gets the steal, drives down the court, finds his trailer, and Zachary Rishaw who's wide open for three, and he hits it. And that kind of sparked us going on another run that then put us up 64-47 at half. So that is really, really good. What do you think about the fact that in both of the first two quarters we held them below 25 points? That's hard to do to an NBA team. To hold a team below 25 points in a quarter is very difficult. Going into the third quarter, we were a little sloppy early, and it was really for both teams. Just kind of ugly play, and it started to get pretty chippy. The Magic were getting frustrated. Dyson made a great play on a back tip on Jalen Suggs, where he just ripped him. I don't know how he does that. He'll sit there and he'll do what most people, if they did it, it would be a foul. Like, they would hit the guy by accident somewhere, and he somehow never makes contact and gets the ball and goes and shoots a lay. It is dumbfounding every time he does. I don't know how he does it. He's so good on defense. He's a miracle worker on defense. I had one of my subscribers mention, he said, I don't understand how it seems like Dyson is right over here and then he disappears and appears over here and steals the ball. I mean, that's kind of what it's like. It's like he's got Ultra Instinct or something. Dragon Ball Z fans. He just, and he's in a new place. It's amazing. Offensively, he's been so much better the last 3 games. It was a little bit of a struggle to begin the year, but I am really enjoying what I'm seeing from Dyson Daniels, especially defensively, but it's even being, like, creeping into his offensive game. We started moving the ball like crazy, but we were fouling a lot on defense and giving them some free throws. And I even said, these fouls are ridiculous. We were just fouling a lot, giving them a lot of free throw opportunities. And we had been up in the 20s, and they cut the lead to 13 using these free throws. Again, I said it's getting extremely chippy, and then right after I typed that in my notes, Bain gets a flagrant by ripping Onyeka down on a full court pass. He's not going to give up a dunk. He rips him down, and then he throws the ball off of Onyeka's head. And then he points in Mo Gay's face and says something, don't know what he said, but whatever it was enough to get him a tech. So he got a flagrant and a tech and was immediately ejected. So that was very beneficial to the Hawks. You have this team that is coming back, they are fighting back, and they've got it back to like a reasonable place, and then one of their best players gets thrown out. That was really helpful to the Hawks. Thank you, Desmond Bain. I really appreciate you making a very poor decision. So right after that, Paolo Banchero drives the basket. Mohamed Gay has one of the craziest blocks I have ever seen on a player. He spiked that thing off the backboard so hard it almost went out to half court. He killed that thing. I'm surprised the ball doesn't have a dent in it. It was crazy. And I had to put like crazy with a 7 Ys and all in caps because of how crazy the block was. Right after that, we get the ball. Jalen drives to the corner. He then kicks it to Onyeka, who dunks on them. Timeout. Magic. Out of the timeout, we put in a lineup that had Kennard and Veet on it on the floor again. I do not like that lineup. It does not get stops, especially when we're struggling, as much as we have been struggling on offense, to shoot the ball, and no matter who's on the floor. I understand you're like, well, Veet and Kennard are our 2 best shooters, more than likely, between them and KP. You're probably looking at, that's probably your best shooting lineup. It does not get stops. We need lineups that get stops, play lineups that get stops, because we're not going to be a good offensive team without Trey right now. Stop playing those lineups. So at the end of the quarter, because of our run that we went on after Bain was ejected, we were up 98-77. From there, we forced our 3rd shot clock violation of the game early in the 4th. Dyson just started kind of attacking like crazy and getting the rim whenever he wanted to, was still playing amazing defense, and I wrote he's been masterful today. I said the defense has just been sensational all game. Then all of a sudden it wasn't. Offensively, we started playing through not a lot, and it was not going well. They started attacking the basket, getting a lot of free throws. We were fouling a lot, being reckless on defense, and we lost our concentration that we'd had for the entire game. They cut the lead to 12. And I wrote, this defense has been significantly worse since this little run in the fourth. It ended up being a moot point because they didn't have enough time. But I don't like seeing that. I would like us to have the defense be consistently great no matter what. Have the mentality that they're not going to score from minute 1 to minute 48. That's how you be a great defensive team. They pulled all of their starters and main rotation players with around 2 minutes left. And we ended the game up 127 to 112. Moving on to the players' side. Everybody played pretty well today, I gotta say. Veet played 11 minutes and had 7 points, a rebound and an assist. He is playing better on defense over the last 2 games, but it's still pretty rough right now. He's got to be a better player on that end of the floor. To be as big as he is, he needs to be playing better defense. Keaton Wallace also played 11 minutes. He had 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, and a block. Like I said, I don't mind Keaton playing right now, but if I were the one making the decisions, I think I would be leaning more defense, leaning more bigger players. Because right now, I just don't think that we're going to be a good offensive team, and I would rather have a large player playing those minutes, helping us to be leading into this long defensive, like juggernaut kind of scheme that we've been running that I really like. And I would even like with Trae Young on the floor. I don't think that should be something we abandon when Trae Young is back. Next we'll move to Mo Gay. Mo had 5 points, 3 rebounds, no assists, no steals, but 3 blocks, 0 turnovers, and only 2 fouls, which is good for Mo in 18 minutes. That's a nice number. Quite honestly, he had Paolo Banchero begging for mercy. Paolo, when you look at his stat line, you're going to go, oh, he played pretty good. He had 20-something points. He had 22 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists. He must have played great. Paolo Banchero shot the ball 37% from the field tonight and 0% from 3. He could not find an open look. He was begging anything in the world to get these long super freaks off of him on defense. Now, if he got a possession where it wasn't Mo or Jalen or Onyeka or KP or Zach or one of these very long, very freakish players that we have on our roster, if they weren't guarding him, he went straight to the basket and scored because he's huge and very good. But overall, it's been a really good sight. In the 2 games against Orlando, he has really struggled to score because we have a lot of bodies that we can throw at him that he cannot do anything with because they are just as big and strong as him. And Mo Gay was one of those tonight. He played masterful defense, and he doesn't really actually hurt us on offense. He played 18 minutes. And we still scored 127 points. Like, that's a lot of points in a basketball game. But he's so good on defense that he ends up tonight with 3 blocks. And they were all meaningful. Keep the ball in play. Don't just block it out of bounds. Block it to a teammate. We get a free run-out point. I mean, just really great play from him. Moving on to Luke Kennard. He had 6 points, 1 rebound, 3 steals, and 3 turnovers. Odd game for Luke because he seemed to have not very much impact on offense, but was not a turnstile today on defense. You could argue that then that's because Orlando's pretty bad on offense, just honestly. They're not missing anybody. They just stink at offense. The roster is not built to be a good offensive team. Moving on from Kennard, we'll talk about Onyeka Okongwu. He was awesome tonight. 14.7 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a block, a turnover. He was one of those players that just put Paolo in a blender. It was amazing seeing him. He's supposed to be a center, and he is guarding this player out on the perimeter with guard skills, and he's in his hip pocket, and he can't go anywhere. And I'm going, my center, usually just looking at random teams, can't move their feet like that. That's a special trait. To be able to defend the rim like Onyeka can and move his feet like that, that's special. Players don't do that often. Moving to the starters, Richase played 26 minutes. He had 21 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and only 2 fouls with no turnovers. He played really, really, really good. It was a dominant first half and a solid second half. But more than that, he played up to his weight on defense. He was very good defensively today. And again, you can say, well, they're bad at offense, so of course he looked good on defense. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he looked locked in. He made the correct rotations. His hands were active. He was able to get great closeouts. He didn't overrun closeouts. He didn't bite on fakes. His technique of defense was good tonight. Rather than saying, oh, well, they're just bad at offense, so of course his defense looked good. No, the technique is what I was looking at. And the technique seemed to be at a place where it was not last season. And it has been that way for Zach. And that's the reason I've been banging the table saying, play this kid more. Because the technique on defense is going really well, and the offensive upside is very high. I like him a lot. I like the amount of minutes he played. I would even want to see more. I think that if I was running this team right now, I would have Zachary Richase playing a lot of minutes, and any minute he was not on the floor, I would have Jalen playing the 3. That way we get a lot of Moge minutes, and a lot of Zachary Richase minutes, and a lot of Jalen minutes, and a lot of Onyeka minutes, and a lot of huge players minutes. Moving on to Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps had 15 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, no blocks, no turnovers. When he's not turning the ball over, he is really, really, really valuable. And he was one of those players that was making things difficult on Paolo. Paolo really struggles to shoot the ball. He's not a very good shooter. And so if you can take away the paint on Paolo, he becomes a very ordinary player. I really like what we were able to do to him today, defensively. The situations we were putting him in. And it made other people's jobs easier. Like Dyson is not having to worry about helping and doing all this stuff. So he's glued to Franz Wagner because he knows Paolo cannot get to the rim because of the lineups we were playing. It was very, very advantageous to play as big as we did today. And it's going to be that way for every single team we play. Playing this big is good. I like playing this big. A lot of times when small ball was dominating the NBA was because big players were not skilled. So then you could run 5 smaller players who were very skilled and they would beat the not skilled players. But when you have 5 guys who are huge and skilled on the floor, that is hard to stop. That was a thing that Kristaps can give us. We can have a very skilled 7'3" big man on the floor. That's invaluable. You can put 5 really large players, like a lineup that's like Dyson, Zach, Jalen, Mo, Onyeka, or KP, one of those centers. And you have 5 very skilled but huge players. I like these lineups. Even when Trey comes back, you can put 4 huge players and Trey. I like that kind of thought process moving forward. Next, we'll talk about Nall. Nall played 32 minutes. He had 20 points, a rebound, 2 assists, a block, and 7 turnovers. Nas shot the ball pretty well from the field today. I didn't really think he took too many stupid shots. The shot selection was pretty good, but the turnovers were a huge problem. If we had not played such amazing defense, the turnovers might have cost us this game. But the defense was so good that it was okay. In the future, when maybe we're not as locked in on defense, we cannot have the guy who's functioning as our point guard right now having that many turnovers without having any real assist totals to go with it. You have 2 assists, 7 turnovers. That is not a good ratio. That is not what we should be looking for, right? We'll move on next to Dyson Daniels. Dyson had 18 points in 35 minutes, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, only 3 turnovers, and only had 1 foul. As I said, Dyson was, it was like he was given a masterclass. He's like, this is how you be the best defender on planet Earth. Everybody watch. Oh, you can't do that? Okay, then I'll just keep the mantra for now. When you find somebody who can do this stuff, he can take it from me. But for right now, I'm the guy. That's what Dyson said today, and it was beautiful to watch. I don't really have anything else to say other than play like that all the time, and you're going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. That was awesome. Please continue. And lastly, we'll talk about Jalen Johnson. Jalen played 33 minutes. He had 17 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, only 3 turnovers, which again, he had the ball a lot. Shot the ball only 11 times. I love what Jalen's been doing. I just wish he was more aggressive. He's so good. Shoot the ball more. He took like a 2-dribble sidestep pull-up thing. I've never seen him take it, but it looked smooth. Maybe take that some more. Find your shot. Shoot the ball 20 times a game. You're our best player. We're not going to have any qualms with you shooting it more. If you shoot over 50% from the field as our best player and only score 17 points, you didn't shoot the ball enough. Now, in general, he floor generaled very well. He took care of the ball. He didn't have a lot of turnovers. He had the ball a lot. He was the guy kind of orchestrating everything. His defense was very on point today. He got beat on 2 back cuts that were kind of cleaned up by some of the other sides we had on the court. I would like to see those get cleaned up. I don't like when he gets beat on back cuts. But other than that, he really has been playing very well. I just want him to play a little more aggressive. If he plays a little more aggressive, we've got ourselves a real threat here as a player. So moving on to my takeaways from the game. As I said in previous episodes, I think we're going to be fine. I think we're going to be just fine. Without Trey, with Trey when he comes back. I told you at the team preview, I thought we were going to struggle a little bit to have continuity. And where that shows itself is in communication. When I don't know exactly what your terminology is and you don't know what mine is, and sometimes on defense we miscommunicate. Sometimes on offense we miscommunicate and we throw the ball away. You're seeing, I said in the team preview, usually takes about 10 games roundabout to really feel a little more comfortable with what everybody's doing. And we're at game 8. We just had game 8. And the communication looked a lot better, especially defensively. So I would love to see that continue to improve. We're not all the way there yet. There are still times where our communication lapses. But it's so much better than it was like game 1. If you can go back and watch game 1, the communication was rough in that game. But now, it's a lot better. I think if we played Toronto today, it'd be a much different outcome. Even without Trey. With Trey, I think it would be a much different outcome. And so let's just continue to build this continuity. Let's continue to fight. Let's continue to play hard on defense. Let's continue to lean into these defensive lineups. I think if we do that, we're going to have a lot of success because teams do not know what to do with us when we play this way. It is hilarious to watch offenses like dribble around the perimeter, like, okay, well, we'll attack this guy. We'll attack Jalen Johnson, and I can't get around him. And so I kick it to my teammate, and he tries to attack, and he's being guarded by Dyson Daniels, and he can't get around him. And then he kicks it to his teammate, and he tries to dribble it. Oh, he's being guarded by Zachary Shaw. He can't get around him. And then he kicks it to another guy, and he's being guarded by Onyeka, and he tries to dribble it, and he can't get around him. And so finally, they shoot a shot over a 6'11 Senegalian man named Moge, and they miss, and we get the rebound. That's what happens to offenses when they're like, what do we do against this? It's crazy how athletic this team is and how good they are playing on defense. What do we do? And the answer is, I don't know. When you play that lineup, I don't know how you score on it. Unless you just hit really hard shots. I mean, we saw a little bit of that today where it was like Anthony Black had one play where he had Dyson on him and he like did a tween, pull back, step back three and hit it. And I was like, oh, that's just a great shot. Like, we played wonderful defense. He just made it. NBA players will do that. But I don't know how when we play those lineups that you get easy baskets. And that's where games are won and lost. Tonight, the Hawks put way more easy points, dunks, layups, wide open three-pointers. We put a lot more points on the board than the Magic doing those things. And when we are able to limit their super easy points, and we are able to create super easy points, using transition, using smart play in the half court, using playing through your big man hubs like Kristaps, Onyeka, Jalen. When we're able to use those things and play through our defense, we create easy looks and we keep them from getting easy looks, and that will result in wins. So again, let's play into these defensive lineups. Let's play through our star. Let's have him shoot a little bit more, and I think that the outcomes will continue to go in our favor against bad teams, good teams, really good teams. If we can continue to play like that, doesn't matter who you are, you ain't stopping us. You ain't stopping us. You ain't stopping us. You ain't stopping us. That being said, that's all my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments about Jalen and whether or not he should be shooting the ball more. I really do think that he should be more aggressive. But maybe you think, I really like the way he's playing right now, and he's aggressive enough. If that's your take, or if you agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you have any questions or you want to know my thoughts on things, let me know that too. Subscribe, like the video. Just keep helping out, grow this thing, trying to get it moving and moving. We're only on episode 11, and we're going to have as many as I can muster. If I'm sick, doesn't matter, I'll be here. If I'm out of town, doesn't matter, I'll be here. If I'm living and breathing, walking across the floor, I'll have a podcast for you. So that being said, wonderful outcome for the Hawks. Love what happened tonight. Love the defense. And I hope you have a great day.